What's up, guys? Welcome back. Tonight we are doing the Winghead Shark after a bit of a hiatus. So we're finally back and getting into the swing of things for the fall. So I'm Dr. Jaws, and we've got Eusphyra blochii tonight, which is probably the most extreme of the Hammerheads. Actually, definitely the most extreme. Definitely the most extreme of the Hammerheads. So I'm excited to get into it. So. You might tell I'm pretty tired. It's been a really busy period the past week. I went to New Orleans and then to Northern Virginia to see family and my girlfriend, and I'm finally back in near the Chesapeake Bay. And I'm just happy to finally be winding down into fall. So hey, what's up, man? Welcome back. It's good to see you. I just talk about how it's been kind of crazy on my head. But I swear this is the last trip I'm doing for the year. I'm just winding down into the fall, and just we're going to be doing streams every Monday for the rest of the fall, and I'm very excited about that. But how are you doing? How have things been? And cheers, by the way. I got a cup of I think it's like a cinnamon spice orange tea. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And I'm starting your comment because it is good to see you. This has been a crazy year on my end. I've just been I'm not used to traveling as much, but it's just like Pacific Northwest, and then my brother's wedding, and then just last week. I've definitely done a lot, and it's just nice to kind of like come back into a calmer pattern. So with a new shark every Monday. So, before we get started, just want to shout out. I'm really exhausted, and I just wanted to kind of a chill piece of music for tonight. And this is a cool channel. And the reason it caught my eye is it's lo-fi music. But it's using these. This is like a trend I've been seeing on YouTube, and I think it's probably a couple years old at this point. But just like doing these like 3-second loops of anime, and this one caught my eye because this is from Porco Rosso, which is one of my absolute favorite Miyazaki movies. This movie is awesome, and I highly recommend it. It's from the same director of Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, and there's a new movie coming out this year called, I think, The Boy and the Heron, but Porco Rosso is absolutely one of my favorites, so I definitely recommend it. But this caught my eye, and this is a good lo-fi mix from the channel called Lo-Fi. So, yeah. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I just saw your comment. Last Sunday was stressful. I was working on one of the thrill rides called Lumberjack, and it got stuck upside down. Oh my gosh! Whoa, wait, it's all over Canadian news too. Well, we gotta check that out. I'm sorry. I'm so curious. Hold on. If you don't mind me asking, Roy, what's the name of the theme park? Lumberjack Canadian ride. Oh, this is it. Canadian's Wonderland. Oh, NPR. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's kind of amazing. That's really, I'm glad it sounds like people. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's wild. Half an hour. That's crazy. Wow. Oh my gosh, Roy, that's crazy. Oops, sorry. I should have closed Picasa earlier. Sorry about that. A horrible segue is like, oh hey, this looks like a cephalofoil of a hammerhead shark. Tonight we're talking about hammerheads. But no, seriously, I feel really bad for these people. I'm so sorry this happened, because like half an hour with like just inverted, that sounds really, really painful. So wow, I'm sorry that happened. It sounds like everybody was okay. But oops. All passengers were back on the ground. 2 were treated for chest pain. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is actually terrifying. Oh, those poor people. This is my worst nightmare. As you know, I cannot do roller coasters, and this sounds absolutely terrifying. So, man, I'm so sorry that happened. It's kind of amazing. It's on the news, so that's a newsworthy story. So yeah, but I'm glad everybody's okay, and I'm glad that Ryan looks like a hammerhead cephalofoil. So that kind of reminds me, oh, luckily everyone was fine. The ride already had safety mechanics engaged and got down safely. Perfect, awesome. So yeah, I'm so glad that went okay. I'm not too far away from Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and like they do a thing every October, kind of bleeding into September. I think it probably is starting now, where they're doing Hallowscream, which is like they turn the whole theme park into like this Halloween like haunted house land, and it's amazing like how they do it. But there was one year that I think it is, I might have told this story before, but like there's one year where I think it's Fabio is like the supermodel guy, or like he's like on those romantic. Oh hey, yeah, no, it's really cool. If you do go to Busch Gardens, I definitely recommend Hallowscream. Like if you have options in terms of when to go, like Hallowscream, like October is the best time to go. Like they do a really good job. That show is awesome, and just like they'll turn different areas of the park into like 6 or 7 haunted houses, and each one is a different theme. There's like a vampire house, like a zombie house, like a witch house. Like it's really cool. It is super fun how they do it. Everything is really spooky. So yeah, I recommend, if anyone is ever interested in Busch Gardens Williamsburg, I highly recommend doing it in October for Hallowscream, because it is up a notch. Like the park really goes up a notch during that season. So, but anyway, there was a year where like I think it's called Apollo's Chariot was. You know what? I gotta get a passport too, actually. I had one, and then mine expired a while ago, so I have to renew my passport as well. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, Apollo's Chariot is a ride that. Oh, hey, little tuna roll, what's up? It's been a while since I've seen you, but Hallowscream is super scary and super fun. And like, little tuna roll, do you like roller coasters? Because like. I think I don't like roller coasters, probably. Like, I think you know that. But, yeah. And actually, Hallowscream, you could do the roller coasters at night, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, there was one year, so I'll finish this Apollo's Chariot story, then I'll get into the Winghead Shark. But Fabio was on the inaugural ride of Apollo's Chariot, and it's like the first time it's ever, like premiered and everything. And it's this big press thing, and everybody's like taking photos and pictures. And this is also on the news. And the ride goes, and it collides at 70 miles an hour with a goose, and like the goose and Fabio's face like hit each other, and it breaks Fabio's nose. And like when he comes off the ride, his nose is just like bleeding, and like he's just upset. And it's kind of like, this is so terrible, but it's also kind of funny because it's like like he's a model, and it's like this is like his absolute worst day. So it's really sad in one way, but it's also really funny in another way. And this is also on the news. Actually, yeah. Let me see if I can look that up, since we looked up the Canadian ride, Fabio Busch Gardens. And if I'm gonna do this, I will plug. 24 years ago today, a goose hit Fabio Busch Gardens. Yeah, this is it. So, but yeah, if we're going to search for this, I will plug Hallowscream, just because like Hallowscream is legitimately good, and Busch Gardens is legitimately a good theme park. But this is just a legendary story. So, I feel like they should have photos. Yeah. I promise we're going to be talking about the Winghead Shark. But we are doing catch up. This is important catch up, because. Yep, there it is. This is just so. And then the models are laughing, and it's like, oh my god, this is a horrible incident. But yeah, there is Fabio. There is Fabio in Busch Gardens. It's a legend. It is a legend. So, Hallowscream. Sorry, if we're gonna look at a bad press event for Busch Gardens, we do have to plug Hallowscream, because it's just excellent. So, Busch Gardens Howl's Scream. Da, da, da. And actually, you know, Halloween stuff, I mean, kind of fits with the Winghead Shark, because the Winghead Shark is an extreme, a little bit creepy, just in terms of, like, how extreme the cephalofoil is, so... But this is what I'm talking about as far as Hallow Scream. The entire park turns into like a giant haunted house or multiple haunted houses. I highly recommend it. It is always fun, and we do not want today's offer. We will leave that for the viewers. But yeah, Hallow Scream is really good. Busch Gardens is really good, and there we go. So, Little Twin Roll loves roller coasters and does not like the Hallow Scream haunted house stuff. So, and then. Yeah, Roy, we always check for obstructions before we dispatch all the time. Yeah, it's like, it's just like, I mean, the odds of a goose flying right in front of the roller coaster right at that moment is just like, oh my gosh. He got goosed, I just saw that. Oh my gosh. It was funny. I was listening to, I don't know if you ever played an Untitled Goose Game. I was listening to that soundtrack earlier today. I don't know why. It's like, it's good piano beats, but it's a fun game. Very funny game. Alright. So, Winghead Shark. So, unfortunately, there's not a lot of... There's no video. There's no video of this species whatsoever on YouTube, which is really sad. And I'm a little surprised by that, actually, because, one, it is such a unique and strange-looking species that, I mean, you know, you would think that, I mean, it would be a worthy subject of video. But two, it's a hammerhead. And hammerhead sharks, or actually all sphearnids, they do like shallow water, and like do like coastal environments. And I'm sure this being a smaller hammerhead, my prediction is that it probably is going to stay more inshore as well. And I'm just shocked that there's literally no footage. There's no footage on YouTube at all of this species, even despite, like, you know, just how charismatic it looks and how iconic it looks. So there's plenty of photos, so we'll go into those more. But I mean, the first thing you can immediately see is just proportionally how enormous the cephalofoil or the hammerhead is. And what's kind of cool is like the front part almost looks like a bonnet head, like shovel kind of, if you will, and then it just, you know, extends out into these crazy bars on the sides of the head. The body is extremely narrow. The pectoral fins are pretty interesting in that they look sharply angled back. You know, like where, you know, hammerhead fins tend to not be as extreme, but it is kind of interesting that this is like so, like the angle, or like the angle pointing backwards is like so sharp. And finally, the first dorsal fin is enormous compared to the body size. This is actually a really extreme looking first dorsal fin. So this is a kind of a, in a lot of ways, a really wild looking shark. You have this extreme, you know, handlebar head, and then a really large area, you know, between like the pectoral fins and the head, where, you know, that's actually a pretty like long neck, and then like these sharply pointed pectoral fins, this extremely tall first dorsal fin. Even the caudal fin, this is not a good photo, but even the caudal fin looks kind of extreme. So we'll check out some other photos for better comparison. But yeah, this is the Winghead Shark. What's really cool is that it is in the genus Eusphyra, which is its own thing. All the other hammerheads are in the same genus. They're all Sphyrna, but this is Eusphyra, which is an entirely different wing of hammerheads. They're all in the same family, Sphyrnidae, but Eusphyra is an outlier to Sphyrna. So they're two very, very different groups, and this is the only species that we know so far in this Eusphyra group. So pretty cool. This is really odd to see. It's sad that this is like a fishing photo, but you know, it does kind of show as an example, just like, I mean, the guy is like lifting the head, like this is a really sad photo, but at the same time, it does kind of like in a weird way illustrate just how extreme the head is. It literally is like a almost perfect like parallel, like 90-degree angle handlebar head. This is actually a bit of a larger individual, because this Winghead Shark tends to be on a smaller size as far as hammerheads go, but that's actually fairly large, like maybe about 4 feet. Let's see. find other fish photos that are not fishing related. That's a good question, Roy. Do you think it uses its cephalofoil more than its pectoral fins for maneuverability? I think it's a good point. I think that's a very valid point that it could be doing that. Or rather, like, we know that for hammerheads in general, that the cephalofoil helps with lift in the water. So short answer is yes. It definitely yes. As far as, like, it definitely plays a role. But as far as, how dominant that role is, I mean, maybe. I mean, it is kind of interesting to see how far, like how strongly angled backwards those pectoral fins are. Let's look at a couple more photos just to kind of see if that was just something in the one photo that we saw, or if that's something kind of more charismatic or like characteristic of the species. So this is kind of a weird rock formation. This individual has probably been deceased for a while, but you can still see the enormous dorsal fin, or first dorsal fin. It looks like the angle on these pectoral fins maybe not as extreme as I was thinking, but maybe because, like, proportionally the pectoral fins and, like, the cephalofoil are relatively the same size as far as length goes, so maybe they play like an equal role in maneuverability. And it'll be really cool as we kind of get more into the research to see if anyone has really explored that, because that's a really good question, Roy. It's kind of interesting to see, like, how both in that little fishing photo and then in this photo, as this gets bigger, or as this shark gets bigger, it has a little bit more girth, which is kind of interesting to see, because it's, again, this is such a huge and bizarre winghead, or like cephalofoil shape. Let's see. There's some really cool X-rays, and I feel like we've seen on one of the Hammerhead streams at least one of these X-ray photos, because we talked about the great hammerhead and the bonnet head, and it was one of those that I think this photo came into play. But this is super cool. Wow, because you can see the jaws really clearly, the chondrocranium and how extreme it is, like the eye socket right there. And then again, just like with the vertebrae, sharks are mostly pure muscle, so there's really, there's no real fin rays or anything. There's no or vertebral, like there's no bones or like vertebral rays like you would see in bony fishes. It's just this vertebral column, and that's really it, going down the body. So pretty extreme looking shark. I think I had another. There we go. This is really cool because this looks like a CT scan, and I think there's, as we kind of dig into it, I know there's a couple sources where you can actually look at the 3D model and manipulate it and look at different angles of it. So I hope we can find something like that tonight with the Winghead Shark, which I think would be really cool. But pretty bizarre species. Let's check out some fish-based notes. So for Eusphyra blochii, Eusphyra means good or very well or very, and then Sphyra means hammer, referring to the immense hammer-shaped head. So Eusphyra means it's very hammer-like. So blochii is in honor of the physician naturalist Marcus, I cannot read right out, Eliezer Bloch, who discovered and illustrated the shark in 1785, which he identified as Squalus agina. Everything was called squalus back in the day. So this shark likes to live in marine and brackish water. Let's see. Found in shallow water on continental and insular shelves. Enters estuaries, feeds mainly on small telos fish, but also takes crustaceans and cephalopods. Viviparous, meaning live birth, with 6 to 25 pups in a litter. That's actually pretty high. Like 25 pups is really, really high for sharks. Has a remarkable wing-shaped head, which is nearly or quite half of its body length. That's pretty amazing. The function of which is uncertain, maybe for maneuvering or for increasing the surface area of some of these sense organs. Probably harmless to people. I would say definitely harmless to people. I can't imagine this it's harmless. It's completely harmless. Caught commonly, but in low numbers, by inshore gillnet fisheries. Particularly common catches off Kalimantan, probably a common fishery species where it occurs. Meat utilized for human consumption. Liver is a source of vitamin oil. Offal probably utilized for fish meal. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Found in shallow water over continental insular shelves. So, I mean, you would think that people would run into this quite often. And when you look at the range map of where this lives, I mean, it's a pretty wide range, you know, like India, like parts of the Middle East, Indonesia, and then northern Australia. So that's a pretty wide area where you could run into the shark. And again, I'm just really shocked that there's not really footage on it. And if someday anybody from Shark Week is watching, I would say please maybe go find the Winghead Shark, because that's a cool species to film. It's definitely like it could definitely be part of a special, or like maybe the star of its own special, because it's completely unique as far as sharks go. So catching up on some comments. It has great hammerhead-like body proportions. Very cool. 3D model. Yeah, I hope we can find one. I forget the website that had these, because like I think they had like a Mako shark head model. Let's see as we go through the actually, you know what? Let's check sharkreferences.com really quick, because I know I've seen this kind of thing from sharkreferences.com. So let's just check through the list really quick, and then also we can open up some research that might be kind of interesting. Possible range section of the Winghead Shark, like that. That's kind of cool to look at for later. Let's see. Oh, this will be kind of cool for later. The hydrodynamics assessment of the Hammerhead Shark cephalofoil. That sounds really cool. If I can't find a 3D model, let's actually dive into that hydrodynamic study, because that actually relates to what you were saying earlier, Roy, about how much of a role does it play. So like the cephalofoil versus the pectoral fins. So let's check that out if we can't find a 3D model. Oh, okay. This might be it. That sounds familiar. X-ray computed tomography library of shark anatomy and lower jaw surface models. Okay, this might be it. Let's accept all the cookies. Nom nom nom. Okay. Yeah, CT scanning. I know there's a way to get to the actual... Okay, here we go. Yeah, I know there's a way to get to this website. Okay. I'll click those in a second. I just want to make sure I had this right. One of these like had a viewer that you could use online. Let's try that. I'm gonna click each of these. Because I vaguely remember one of these had like a cool 3D viewer. Okay, page cannot be found. Connection is not private. I don't like that. This one, VG Studio Max. Document not found. Mesh Lab. I'm not gonna download software because I know I've seen this on a viewer online. I used to work for a place that had a 3D printer, by the way, and this kind of realm is very interesting, where there's a whole community of people who create, 3D models, and some of it is like for animation, and I think, Roy, don't you? I think if I remember correctly, because you have a cool YouTube channel, I think, do you make 3D models? Not to call you out, but like I thought I saw you make a really cool shark model, but not to put you on the spot, because but I thought if I remember correctly, you have a really cool shark model on your channel. And it's interesting because there's an intersect with like 3D modelers for like video games, or just like 3D visualization. But then it's also for 3D printing, and I used to work for a place that had a 3D printer that needed to make kind of like, what's the word? Components for some hardware that was really important, and they had to have the dimensions completely precise, or completely precise dimensions, or else the hardware that they were making would not work. So. Okay, so this might not be it, but I know there is something. I know there is something where you can see this stuff online. Like there's a viewer where you can see like shark jaws online. So, I'll kind of keep looking. That was actually a lot of Winghead Shark research, by the way. This is kind of cool. I'm kind of curious about sharks of the Arabian Seas. We'll just open that up a little bit. Enhanced visual fields of hammerhead sharks. And I think that might be the last one I open. Nope, a phylogenetic super tree of the hammerhead sharks. That sounds really cool. I like that. A lot of cool research. This actually is going to be a fun research night. And, okay, yeah, sure. Field identification guide of Western Australian sharks. Okay, cool. A lot of cool stuff. I think this one was the one that was talking about the hydrodynamics. Yeah, there we go. So. Oh, cool. Sorry, Roy. I don't make models. Those models are from a game called Depth. Very cool. Is a 3D viewer on the Florida Museum. I could check that. I don't think it is, but let's just check that really quick. Because I don't think the shark is there either, but... Because Florida Museum of Natural History is interesting. It's an excellent resource for North American sharks. Oh, sorry. Should have said Winghead Shark. There's Spheronatudes, which is its cousin. The small hammerhead. I should know this because I made an entire video. My best video is that Hammerhead Shark video, and... Okay, sorry, let me click on this really quick. Small hammerhead, got it. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was a small hammerhead. Okay. Teaching resources. Shark anatomy, shark dissection. Yeah. Discover fishes, sharks. I guess we could do anatomy. Oh, this is kind of cool. Atlantic Shark ID guide. Let's click on anatomy really quick. Out of selfish curiosity, I'm very curious about... This is actually really cool. Okay, I had no idea Florida Museum... Okay, so this is not what we were looking for, but this is actually really, really cool. So, I had no idea Florida Museum of Natural History had this. But this is kind of like a dichotomous key. I say kind of like because it looks like there's some... I mean, it basically is a dichotomous key. There's... Okay, yeah, whatever. It's essentially a dichotomous key. But this is really, really cool where you start with... you know, looking at question, if you have a shark, like if you have a shark that you want to identify, you go through each of these steps, and let's do this for just hammerhead sharks really quick because I think dichotomous keys are so cool. But okay, first one: body flattened dorsoventrally or body round in cross section. Hammerheads have a round body, so we go to question 2. And I love how it automatically redirects you. 7 gill slits, 6 gill openings, 5 gill openings. Hammerheads have 5 gill openings. Question 4. Anal fin absent, anal fin present. Hammerheads have an anal fin, so question 9. Caudal peduncle. Oh, wait a minute. Caudal peduncle with one or more keels or ridges. Caudal peduncle without keels or ridges. So the caudal peduncle is the area. It's like a small indent or divot before the caudal fin. I think the sharks that have keels or ridges are the mackerel sharks because they have a very strong caudal peduncle, and I think the ones that don't are everything else. So I'm going to say hammerheads belong in question 17. Head hammer shaped. No. Wait, hold on. Did I get this wrong? Head flattened dorsal ventrally and expanded laterally. Hammer or spade shaped. Yep, there we go. Sorry. Question 18. So now we're into hammerheads. Now you get into the bonnet head, the head margin rounded, spade shaped. So there you go. Or the head is hammer shaped. Winghead shark is like a hammer shaped head, so we'll just do question 19. I know the winghead shark is not going to be here, but the hammerheads that they're talking about in terms of the Atlantic are the bonnet head, the smooth hammerhead, which we haven't done yet. Question 20. The scalloped hammerhead, and then the great hammerhead. So we've done great hammerhead and we've done bonnet head, but we haven't done scalloped hammerhead either, which is kind of interesting. So, but yeah, this is really cool. This has nothing to do with the winghead shark, but I just think it's really cool that Florida Museum of Natural History has an Atlantic shark ID guide. I had no idea it had this, and it's pretty good. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. White shark, mako. Wow, yeah. This is actually really cool. This is kind of a nice snapshot of what we have, and that's actually really good. I'm looking through these names of these species, and it's that checks out. There's a couple that they're missing. Most of them are deep water, but as far as shallow water sharks, that's actually pretty good. There's actually a couple of shallow water sharks they're missing too, I think. No, actually, never mind. They got the fine-tooth shark. Do they have the night shark? They do have the night shark. Okay, so this is actually pretty good. This is actually really great. So the Atlantic Shark ID Guide is a great snapshot of shallow water Atlantic sharks. So this has nothing to do with what we were looking for, but this is actually a really cool feature. Thanks, Roy, for starting this journey, because I think it's actually really cool. So a lot of requiem sharks have that peduncle. Gotcha. Yeah. So good call on that. Because if I'm curious if we go into the caudal peduncle question. Caudal peduncle with one or more keels or ridges. That takes us to 10. So it's the poor beagle, or 11, which is the whale shark. So those are two totally different things. 12 is the 13. Sorry, 12 takes us to 13 or 14. 13 is the tiger shark or blue shark. Yeah, so this actually, yeah, good call, Roy, because like tiger sharks have a strong peduncle, blue sharks have it. 14, basking shark, 15, white shark, 16. Oh, not found. Okay. Really? 16 is mako sharks. So, good call, Roy, because I thought that question about the keel was just the mackerel sharks, but you're right. Yeah, it also includes the tiger shark and the blue shark. So, good call. Very good call. Awesome. So actually, yeah, let me star that. That's pretty awesome. So, sweet. Okay. So let's go back to hydrodynamics. Here we go. Hammerhead Dynamics Assessment of the Hammerhead Shark Cephalofoil by Matthew K. Gaylord, Eric Blades, and Glenn Parsons. So we'll read the abstract and then we'll just kind of zoom ahead to our winghead shark. But this is kind of a cool overview of hammerhead sharks in general. Hammerhead sharks are characterized by a conspicuous lateral expansion of the head, forming a structure known as a cephalofoil. Two theories regarding the function of the structure suggest that it may increase maneuverability as well as produce dynamic lift similar to a cambered airplane wing. Cambered? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Here we report on a family-wide computational fluid dynamics analysis of all 8 hammerhead shark species and 3 sharks with typical head shape. Model casts of the heads of fresh and museum specimens of hammerhead and typical sharks were used to produce pressure surface maps and lift and drag polar diagrams at various angles of attack. Okay, so that's really cool. I know it's a lot of verbiage, but that's actually really cool. Like, this is one of the cool physics studies that I kind of love these studies where I hope they have good visualizations where you can see just exactly how the shark's head creates a specific shape in the water column that affects drag and affects how it moves and how like it's really cool to see diagrams of like how the body shape affects forces and affects the flow of water. So this might be really cool. These analyses suggest that the cephalofoil 1 provides greater maneuverability that may be important in prey capture efficacy. 2 does not provide significant dynamic lift when held parallel to flow. 3 is characterized by greater drag than typical sharks across all attack angles, and 4 was found to result in a 10-time increase in energetic cost over typical shark head morphologies. So if I'm reading that right, that means the cephalofoil is kind of maybe not the most helpful thing? So it may be better for maneuverability, but it doesn't really help with lift. It actually causes more drag, and it is more costly energetically for a shark to have a hammerhead than a shark to not have a hammerhead. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so let's go ahead, we'll scan through this and we'll shout out, you know, if there's anything relating to our winghead shark. So here we go. Yeah, nothing about the winghead shark. This is just background on hammerheads in general. Physics. Oh, this is cool. Okay, this is super cool. Okay. So this is both figure 2? Okay, here we go. So, composite of dorsal top and ventral bottom. Oh, there we go. Okay, dorsal view, ventral view. Surface pressure contours from all 11 species at 0 angle of attack. Note the similarity magnitude, both internal between the dorsal and ventral surface pressure contours. So A is the great hammerhead, Sphaeromacharon. B is the smooth hammerhead, Sphaerona zygaena. C is the scalloped hammerhead, Sphaerona lewinii. D is tonight's shark, Eusphyra blochii, the winghead shark. E is Sphaerona tudes, the small eye hammerhead. F is Sphaerona media. Mallethead Shark? Is that the one? Scoophead Shark. Sorry, Scoophead Shark is Sphaera media. G is Sphaera tibero, the bonnethead shark, and H is Sphaera corona, the scalloped bonnethead. So it's a bit confusing. I is Carcharodon lymbatus, the black tip shark. C. J. J is Carcharodon lucas, the bull shark. And then K is Negaprion brevirostris, the lemon shark. Yeah, so. Okay, so that's really cool. Lemon, bull, black tip. Black tips are really pointy. I didn't realize that. Pressure. So the areas that are more red are areas that are feeling the greatest amount of pressure. Surface pressure contours from all living species, zero angle attack. And then green, or no, the cooler the color is, the less amount of pressure is being acted on the body. So this is kind of interesting. It looks like great hammerheads have a lot of pressure head on, like on the dorsal, like in the central of the dorsal surface, and then the upper jaw, or around the upper jaw. As for the winghead shark, it looks like the winghead shark has a lot of pressure on the dorsal surface. The actual bars, if you will, kind of closer to the eye, don't experience as much pressure, and the ventral half of the body doesn't experience as much pressure. A black tip shark, this pointy black tip shark, has a lot of pressure on the snout, but not as much, kind of around the jaw. Bull sharks have a lot of pressure on the snout as well. This is really cool. This is a super cool diagram. Oops, sorry. Just... So, what are some observations you can see? So it looks like for hammerheads, the center of the head absorbs the most amount of pressure, and then most of the cephalofoil is free of pressure. Except for, actually, when you compare the winghead shark to the others, it looks like there's a pretty long space, or broad space, that absorbs pressure as well. What is F again? Was that the... That one was the scoophead shark. Scoophead shark, it looks like the entire head is experiencing pressure. He was small eye hammerhead. Yeah, it's interesting. Like for the hammerheads with actually large and broad hammer-like heads, it looks like the majority of the cephalofoil is alleviated of pressure. So cool. Bull sharks have a lot of pressure on their snout. This is really, really cool. And it's interesting seeing that the jaws, looks like the jaw, like the upper half of the jaws all experience pressure as well. The nostrils experience pressure. This is very cool. This is also this lineup of all the hammerheads is really fantastic. Like this whole pressure study aside, this is a really cool lineup of seeing just seeing just how different hammerhead sharks can be. And it's actually really amazing to see that the shapes are pretty distinct. The most difficult one is the scalloped hammerhead and the smooth hammerhead, as far as telling them apart. With the scalloped hammerhead, you can definitely see that divot. With the smooth hammerhead, there is no divot. But if you see this from like a boat, this is going to be almost impossible to tell apart, right? Great hammerheads have just this really powerful mallet. So they're pretty distinct, right? The winghead shark, of course, is extreme, and there's nothing else like it. The bonnethead is unique, and that's like an actual space. The only one that actually has like a shovel-like head, which is really cool. The scallop head is a little weird in the sense that it's like E.T. kind of it really is this odd mishmash of like, it's not quite like an actual shovel. It's a bit more compressed, and it's more like a hammerhead shark, but the sides of the head are just too broad, too short. F, which one was F? Was that the scoophead shark? F is S media. That is a scoop head shark. Sorry. So F is like a perfect, like, you know, kind of like a perfect, almost boxy shape. And then E is a small hammerhead, and that's like a really squat, cute-looking hammerhead shark. But it's really cool. Like, you can tell them apart. I would say the most distinct are bonnet heads, wing heads, great hammerheads. I think these three are probably the most distinct shapes. So, but it's really cool to see and compare. Oh, shoot. I just saw your comment. We got some buzzy audio. Oh, this is cool. Roy, this is a really cool comment. Oh, that is interesting. It kind of explains as to why hammerheads tend to prefer swimming to the side more for lift rather than use their cephalofoils. That's a really cool comment. Very good observation. It looks like the winghead is better at diving rather than soaring up. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, like with the side-to-side swimming, by the way, one cool fact about that, too, I think there was, hammerheads have that distinctive pattern, and I think part of it, I think there's a theory of it, as far as vision is concerned, in terms of like it's kind of getting a visual read of the environment as well, just kind of how hammerheads see. Like it's, I don't know the exact term. I want to say like binocular vision, but I don't think that's correct. I really don't think that's correct. So I'm just, it's Monday. But part of like the swinging of the head is getting like a read of the environment, and I think vision is a part of it. I think some of the other senses are at play as well, but like it kind of helps with the shark. Like that classic side to side motion is kind of helping the shark also get like a visual like read on the or like it helps the shark see, which is really cool. But yeah, let's go check out more of this study. It's kind of funny. Let me know what let me know what you think about the sciences as far as like I did very well in biology. I did pretty okay at physics. I was not good at chemistry. So like I don't know why chemistry really bugged me, but physics is something I kind of like. And physics kind of came more naturally than chemistry. And then biology of course relates to both. But this study is more like a physics-based study. It's just kind of cool. Like, it's been a while since I've done, like, forces and things, but, let's see. This is, oh! This is so cool. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, this is the stuff I really like. Okay, this is going to be really cool. Okay, composite of distal pressure clipping planes at A equals 0 degrees, top left, A equals 10 degrees, top right. 0, 10 degrees, got you. Okay. And velocity clipping planes at A equals 0 degrees, bottom left, and A equals 10 degrees, bottom right, from all 11 species. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. Okay, so if I have this right, so pressure and velocity. Oh man, this is so cool, because I do think this is kind of like airplane stuff, almost. So which one was our winghead shark again? Winghead shark was, where are you? Winghead shark is D. So our star species is D. Oh good, that's conveniently in the top right corner. Okay, cool. Alright, so this is so cool. And then all the hammerheads are the first two rows. These are all the different kinds of hammerheads. So, okay. So at 0 degrees, it looks like the winghead shark is absorbing a lot of pressure at the front, and it alleviates pressure around the body. And it looks like, around the rest of the head. So this black diagram is like a distal view, like a side view of the winghead shark's head. This is all the side view of the other species' heads. Although this does look weird. I'm not really sure. I, J, and K. This is the black-tip shark, bull shark. That looks a little. Do I got this right? No, I got this wrong. I'm sorry. Oh, they didn't do this. They changed the order. Sorry, this makes sense. Okay, sorry about that. So. Sorry about that. That makes more sense. A is a bull shark. B is a lemon shark. C is a black tip shark. D is the Winghead Shark, and then the rest are Hammerheads. Sorry about that. That makes more sense. So these are all Hammerheads. These are like the quote-unquote average shark species, and then D is our our Winghead Shark. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So still, the Winghead Shark is absorbing a lot of pressure at the beginning, like at the very anterior part of the head, at the front of the head, and then which is alleviating pressure at a 0-degree angle. At a 10-degree angle, it's still absorbing a lot of pressure at the very top of the head, and that alleviates pressure in the area right above the head and right below the head. This is interesting, where it looks like for sharks that are more typical, they're not absorbing as much pressure at the very front of the head, but they're not also gaining as much lack of pressure around the head. And this is really cool. You could see this pattern with all the Hammerheads. Like, see this like dark red space where like it looks like at the very front of the head for Hammerheads they're absorbing a lot of pressure, and then with the cephalofoil they're alleviating a lot of pressure directly above the head. So this is super cool. When you look at velocity, if I have this right, the Winghead Shark is... oh man. The shape of the Winghead Shark's head is creating an empty space as far as velocity goes. If I have that right, we'll read the summary. I just want to make sure I have this right. There's high velocity around the very top edge of the head and the very bottom edge of the head, which is creating like a wake right above the cephalofoil and below the cephalofoil. Do I have that right? If the Winghead Shark lifts its head, high velocity, top and bottom, and there's an empty space like a wake right above the head. And you don't really see this with the other sharks. In fact, this is really cool seeing with the non-hammerhead species that with their body shape, look how little of a difference there is, between the tip of the snout and the rest of like the neck and the head as far as velocity is concerned. So there's an extreme difference in velocity as far as hammerhead shark or winghead shark heads go, and then with the other hammerheads, when they lift their head, there's an extreme difference in velocity. But with the more traditionally shaped sharks, there's really not that much of a difference. This is really cool. Let me catch up on comments really quick. So, oh, here we go. The vision for the Winghead Shark must be crazy. Yeah, for sure. Super cool. Yeah, I don't think we've done a study like this before, but shark physics. It's such a cool field. It's something I wish I kind of knew more. Oh man, what is this? Okay. Okay. Oops, sorry. Freaking out, sorry. Okay. Okay, lift coefficient C1 by drag coefficient CD, or C sub, I'm sorry. Lift coefficient C sub L by drag coefficient C sub D. Okay. Now, I'm not really sure what this is measuring. I'm going to confess. I don't know what this means. So, but I do know, even though I may not know exactly what this means, I do know that the Winghead Shark is clearly extremely weird compared to the other species. And it looks like... yeah, never mind. The Winghead Shark looks extremely weird compared to the other species. Like, the Winghead Shark is this dark... no. Yes. Okay. Yeah. The Winghead Shark is this dark. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They changed the colors. Sorry. The Winghead Shark is this like dark purple line right here. Yeah. There we go. Sorry. Winghead Shark is this dark purple line. It's clearly an outlier compared to the other shark species. So this unique head shape is very weird. I'm not exactly sure what this is measuring, but we can get into that in a discussion. And again, this angle of attack measure. The Winghead Shark is also a bit of an extreme compared to the other species. So this is super cool. Okay, drag coefficient plotted against angle of attack. Again, the Winghead Shark is weird. It is an outlier compared to other shark species. Winghead Shark is weird. Oh man, this is so cool. This is not the Winghead Shark. This is a scalped hammerhead. But it's really cool. You can see, like, you know, nice 3D model of pressure, and then also, what is this? Fluid streamlines were generated from particle trace. This stuff is so cool. I hope they have a Winghead Shark model. They probably won't, but they do not. Okay. Okay. Actually, let's look at blochii. It's probably the better way to do it. Yep, that is the better way to do it. Okay, I'm just gonna take a sip of tea as we get ready for analysis, because this is super cool. Roy, loving these graphs. Same here. Like this stuff is so cool to me. Like just shark physics. It's been a while since I've seen studies like this, but they're super cool. Okay. Okay, so mean dorsal pressures were higher than ventral pressures in 6 of the 8 species. Okay, so including the winghead shark. So the pressure on the top of the head is higher than the pressure on the bottom of the head. Drag coefficients are ranged from a low for the bonnethead shark to a high for the winghead shark. And as far as the hammerheads go, drag decreased with decreasing cephalofoil size, which makes sense. So the bigger head, the more drag it creates. So, which kind of makes sense with the other, like the pressure diagrams and the velocity diagrams that we saw with the winghead shark, is that the winghead shark's head is so extreme that it's actually maybe the least conducive to swimming, since it is creating the most drag. So it's actually pretty cool. And this is cool. Lift coefficients for Carcharian species were essentially 0. So the sharks that have more of a traditional shape do not have as extreme of a drag issue. So. The lift to drag ratio is conspicuously lower across all attack angles for the winghead shark than for the other shark species. The winghead shark possessing the largest cephalofoil was distinctly different, demonstrating significantly larger drag coefficients and showing the greatest change in lift as its angle of attack changed. Very cool. Okay. Diagrams. Winghead shark is in its own category as far as the cephalofoil goes. It's the only shark that is classified as having a large cephalofoil. Everything else is smaller than that. So, very cool. I like this sentence. Despite its common name, winghead shark, the winghead shark cephalofoil generated the greatest amount of drag and produced, at low angles of attack, the least amount of lift. So it's the worst head shape for lift. That is so cool. It may be noteworthy that the winghead shark head morphology displayed the greatest rate of change in lift coefficient as attack angles changed. Additionally, at the highest attack angles, the lift coefficients are the greatest of any species. The results for the species likewise do not support the cambered wing lift hypothesis. However, the relatively rapid change in lift generated at positive attack angles implies that the winghead shark cephalofoil in particular may provide a hydrodynamic advantage via an increase in maneuverability. It may be significant that the winghead shark diet was found to consist of about 93% teleos fishes, apparently in the family Clopeidae. That's really cool because Clopeidae is herrings, if I am not mistaken, whereas other hammerhead shark species feed predominantly on stingrays, crabs, and other bottom-dwelling organisms. The predominance of highly mobile clypeids in the diet of the winghead shark may reflect the greater mobility than its cephalofoil provides, or that its cephalofoil provides. So that is really cool. So I think I got that right. Hold on, I'm super excited about this. By the way, sorry, Clypeidae. These are herrings, right? Clypeidae is a herring. Yes, these are herrings. Okay. So that is super cool. So the winghead shark's head is so extreme that it just kind of sucks at lifting it up, and it creates the most drag. But it's so extreme that it is actually the best at like turning, and like it has the most amount of maneuverability. So it can catch these crazy fish. Like herrings are like, you know, very evasive fish, and much quicker and much more what's the word? Like much more maneuverable than bottom-dwelling prey, and that is really cool. So this extreme head shape may be an evolutionary adaptation to better catch quicker, more maneuverable prey. That is extremely cool. So our classic hammerheads who like to eat more bottom-dwelling things don't really need that extreme maneuverability. But the winghead shark does need that extreme maneuverability, and the extreme head shape helps with that maneuverability, just slicing through the water and grabbing on to those herring prey items. So that is extremely cool. I'm really, really happy about this study. Just high five, guys, because that's really cool. Man. They're roasting my boy. Yeah, no, winghead shark is awesome. So even though it may not have the highest amount, even though it does not have lift and drag, or like it has the highest amount of drag and the lowest amount of lift, it is the superlative in another way, in a sense that this is the coolest thing about evolution, is just like, you know, or fitness. Like fitness is not necessarily like you're not perfect in every dimension. Like you can excel in a specific niche. So this shark, winghead shark, is a lot better than the other hammerheads as far as maneuverability goes. So super cool. Super cool. So I love this. This is awesome. Yeah, let's see if there's any more notes on this. Oh, this is kind of cool. Relative to the cephalofoil of other hammerhead species, winghead shark cephalofoil generated 6 times the amount of drag compared to, I don't know why I'm getting confused, a scalp bonnethead, and about 13 times the amount of drag compared to the scalped hammerhead. Oh my gosh. Additionally, a winghead shark cephalofoil generated up to 40 times the amount of drag compared to a lemon shark, 32 times the amount of drag compared to a bull shark, and 23 times the amount of drag compared to a blacktip shark. That's pretty wild. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, bull shark, blacktip shark, and lemon shark probably, or almost definitely, not as maneuverable as a winghead shark. So, and that's, yeah, I wonder, you know, I was talking about how the pectoral fins, they seem to be angled pretty sharply back. I wonder if that has something to do with it, you know? And like the dorsal fin being so enormous, maybe, you know, because dorsal fin is like a stabilizer, like maybe the size of that dorsal fin kind of helps with like stabilization with like quick turns, and that high degree of maneuverability. So, yeah, super cool. Let's see. Okay, so that was basically it for that study, but really cool. So shout out again just to the authors, and this is from Scientific Reports Nature Research. So Matthew Gaylord, Eric Blades, and Glenn Parsons. This is one of the coolest studies as far as shark physics goes. This is definitely my favorite shark physics study, because I just think, like, you know, just that explanation of like why, like, or what the advantage is of having such an extreme head, and it's like to help catch like highly maneuverable prey. That's really cool. So shout out to the study. This was a gem, and we're gonna leave this study now, but super, super, super cool. And shout out to you, Roy, because I think, yeah, you mentioned at the top of the stream, like, hydrodynamics, and it's like, yeah. So thanks, man. Like, that was awesome. It was so, so cool. Cephalofoil acts like a surfboard underwater. Yeah, it's super, super cool. Since it's 10 o'clock, I want to make sure we cover some conservation before checking out some other studies. I just want to make sure we don't skip this, because I did notice this winghead shark, it is an endangered species, so I do want to know why it's endangered. Let's see. Highly distinctive, fish for its range, slow growing, maximum age of 21 years, and it has a generation length of 14 years. These life history parameters, all of its parent patchy localized distribution increases its susceptibility to depletion due to heavy fishing effort. Furthermore, its morphology makes it extremely susceptible to entanglement in a wide variety of nets. That's actually really, really sad. So the giant head, unfortunately, like, makes it more vulnerable to fishing nets. That's actually really sad. Throughout the majority of its range, in particular Asia, fishing effort is concentrated in coastal regions, is intense, and is generally unregulated. The winghead shark is inferred to have been heavily exploited. This species is now rarely encountered in both India and Indonesia, where it's previously been reported, and the absence of the species from fish market and landing surveys in these countries is likely to accurately reflect the situation more broadly across the majority of its range. This might relate to what I was saying earlier, where it's like, I'm shocked that we don't have video of this species, because it's a shallow water species, but maybe this relates to its conservation status, where maybe it's just rare. You know, maybe it is very rarely encountered. While there are no species-specific data on its status, the population is inferred to have declined by at least 50% within the equivalent of 3 generations, 42 years, and hence it is assessed as endangered globally based on heavy exploitation levels. As fishing practices across most of its range are expected to remain unchanged, it is inferred that the global population will continue to decline at a similar rate over the next few generations. In Australia, the winghead shark is only a small component of commercial catches, and therefore the population is considered to be relatively healthy and is regionally assessed as least concerned. So that's nice. I wasn't expecting that. So globally, it's an endangered species, but locally in Australia, it's actually maybe doing okay. So that gives me a little bit of hope. So interesting. So yeah. I'm glad we checked that. So it's heavily fished in Indonesia and India, but Australia not really as much, and it's actually doing a bit better. So right. Let's sure, let's check this out. This kind of sounds interesting. From it's a brief communication from Fish Biology, because briefs are small, right? Briefs are brief. Okay, I do want to check this out. So possible range extension of the endangered and understudied winghead shark, Eusphyra blochii, Nicholas Lubitz and Adam Barnett. Here the authors report on a possible range extension in the rare and understudied winghead shark. A specimen was captured by recreational fishermen in Moreton Bay, Queensland, Australia, 800 kilometers south of its current distribution. As winghead sharks show a clumped distribution in Australia associated with river outflow. Oh, that's actually really cool. So, we'll get to that in a little bit. Moreton Bay, with its large catchment area, may represent a suitable habitat for the species, and previous occurrence may have gone undetected. Alternatively, climate change may have caused a recent southward shift in winghead sharks, as observed in other elasmobranch species along Australia's east coast. So this is really cool and freaky, because I've mentioned this before. In our part of the world, bull sharks are moving north. Like, we've had bull sharks. Bull sharks are always summer visitors, and that's been a thing since, like, the dawn of the Holocene. like bull sharks have always been summer visitors around the Chesapeake Bay, but the likelihood is of bull sharks being this far up north, and like the amount of the amount of bull sharks being caught up north, it's inferred to increase with climate change. But the bigger thing is, recently, I definitely mentioned this before, is there are juvenile bull sharks in North Carolina, which have never been seen before. And there's a theory that or actually no, there was, I think this was 2016, there was a study published about a juvenile bull shark, like a bull shark pup, possibly having been pupped in the Pamlico, or the Albemarle Pamlico Sound of North Carolina, which is unheard of, because bull sharks are, they were previously thought to pup just in Florida, and maybe South Carolina, but not North Carolina, because it's a completely different ecoregion, so that's a big thing. That was, at that time, the only climate study I've ever heard of concerning sharks. This is very interesting, talking about southward shift as waters warm. Since it's the southern hemisphere, sharks will increase their range southward. So this may be, relating to climate change. Is pretty fascinating. So this is, a part of a growing collection of research about sharks responding to climate change. And it's like, oh, it's pretty wild. Also, I kind of got excited about sharks associated with river outflow. So they talked about how winghead sharks, and a lot of hammerheads are like this, like estuaries, where estuaries are like, nursery grounds for many fish species. They're great hunting grounds for a lot of different kinds of sharks, because not every shark can handle the low salinity, and, like, to be able to go into an estuary and to hunt in an estuary is to kind of get into a unique environment that not every shark has access to. And I got excited because I know other hammerheads, like scalloped hammerheads and smooth hammerheads and bonnet heads, actually, I think most hammerheads, honestly, they like those environments, and it's kind of cool seeing that the winghead shark probably likes those environments too, like the river mouths, and maybe being able to hunt. And actually, what's really, really cool is that herring are a very, very famous, is it catadromous fish? Which means, like, they're a very famous estuarine fish, where they like breeding upriver. And so, like, for this shark, who is uniquely shaped to handle herrings, it's actually really cool that it likes to spend its time where the herrings live, which is, like, around rivers. Like, herrings famously go up rivers to spawn, and that's just really cool. So, sorry, I was really tired at the beginning of this night, and then now I'm really getting jazzed up by like just all this really great research. So, it's super. Oh shoot, my thing kind of crashed. It's super cool. Bull sharks going on vacation. Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Like, I used to get really, really into just bull sharks in the Chesapeake Bay, and there's been quite a few sightings. Like, there's a couple famous ones, like, on the news, like famous catches, but the actual number of bull sharks who have occurred in the Chesapeake Bay is surprising. Like, there's at least, I think last time I checked, there's at least 20 newsworthy records, like 20 newsworthy stories, like spanning from like early 1800s to today, and it's just like some of these stories are just kind of like not really super popular. There's like 2 or 3 news stories that are very popular, but yeah, like bull sharks do come up here. Do you know, by the way, random side tangent, we've had manatees this summer, and like that's something that happens, but the rate of manatees in the bay has really gone up this year, which is really interesting. So there was one spotted in Virginia Beach a couple weeks ago, and prior to that, I think there was another one that was around the Eastern Shore, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been an interesting summer. I unfortunately was not lucky enough to see the manatee, but there have been manatees. There's been a higher number of manatees, or at least a higher number of documented manatees this year, which is really cool because Chesapeake Bay is their northern limit. They are summer migrants. So, but anyway, winghead shark generally occupies shallow, turbid waters over continental and insular shelves, often associated with estuarine habitats and high river outflow. Very cool. Another thing that's catching my eye, turbid, meaning murky water. That might be another reason why the species is maybe not on film, is that it's rare and it spends most of its time in murky water. So that might be a factor in terms of why we don't have videos of the species. So. Species is long-lived. 6 to 25 pups. Let's see. Here in Australia, the species co-occurs with 2 other hammerhead species, the scout hammerhead and the great hammerhead. Nonetheless, the winghead is the least studied and likely the least common species of Sirenidae across its range. Available information suggests the species shows a highly clumped distribution in Australia. Talking about what we just read in the abstract. In general, the species is considered rare in Queensland waters. Single record raises a question if the captured male represents a single stray record, or if continuous occurrence of the winghead shark in Moreton Bay has remained unnoticed or represents a recent phenomenon. Moreton Bay likely constitutes a suitable habitat for the species, as winghead catches are highest in turbid, coastal, and estuary regions. Sorry, let's take a nice look at this species. Sorry, get out of here. What is this? Can I close this? No. Sorry, I did exactly what I did not want to do. Sorry about that. Get out of here. Why do I have this happen? Whatever. Oh. Aha! There we go. Sorry, that took forever. Oh, man. Super cool shark. It's really cool seeing a photo of the species after we checked out the physics study. And again, it's actually, the head is so weird because it almost looks like a small eye hammerhead with extensions. Like the head shape looks pretty similar to a small eye hammerhead or a scout bonnethead, but then you got these extensions here. So it's pretty interesting. In this photo, the pectoral fins maybe don't look as far angled back as I thought in the first photo. So maybe it was just the angle in the first photo that was throwing me off a little bit. That's so cool. Like, what a strange shark. It's really cool that we live in a world where this species is, like, alive. Because this is one of those sharks that almost looks like a prehistoric shark. Like, you know, those, like, radically crazy looking prehistoric sharks, like, is it Hyperion is the one with, like, the whirl tooth? I don't know if I got that right, or if Hyperion is, like, a publishing company. I don't know. Like, I forget. The shark with the whirl tooth, like the fossil shark, like Howard will kill me for not remembering this, but like the shark with the whirl tooth, I think it is Hyperion. I could be wrong about that. Or like the hummingbird shark, or not the hummingbird, like the flying fish shark. There's a shark that looks like a flying fish. There's a lot of extreme sharks from the past, and it's really cool to see that this is an extreme species that lives with us today. Like, this is a part of our world, and it's such a radical looking shark. So, yeah, like, this is becoming one of my, I mean, I love all of them, but this is becoming a favorite. Winghead sharks are really cool. This is really cool. So this is the original range of the species, and then this is where this individual was caught. I'm not as familiar with Australian geography, so I don't really know exactly where it switches from tropical to temperate water. But I know the Great Barrier Reef is this way. But that is interesting that this might be, I'm assuming this is probably a temperate environment if they're talking about climate change, because tropical environment temperature-wise usually is stable, and temperate environments are variable. So I'm assuming this is a temperate part of Australia. So, yep, sorry about that. The large catchment area of multiple river systems flowing into Moreton Bay may provide necessary riverine output, especially during strong rainfall events. As the species appears to be naturally rare in Queensland, identification to the species level in commercial fisheries only began in 2018. The occurrence of winghead sharks in Moreton Bay may have gone undetected. If Moreton Bay represents the range limit of wingheads, it may only be occupied during the summer months due to potential temperature preferences of the species. This is supported by this individual that was caught in January during the austral summer. Got you. Many ectothermic elasmobranch species show distinct temperature preferences and exhibit seasonal movements to and from range limits, which can only be inhabited during summer when temperatures are suitable. Because the spatiotemporal extents of winghead habitat use remain virtually unknown, future tracking studies would be of value to determine if seasonal patterns exist and if Moreton Bay indeed represents an essential habitat for wingheads. So I'm going to assume yes, seasonal patterns probably exist, because when you look at the range for the species, this is all tropical environment. Like, this is all a tropical range. So I'm going to assume that this is probably a summertime species. I think that's a fair assumption. The occurrence of this individual may also represent a relatively recent southward shift in winghead distribution, which has been recorded in many marine vertebrates and invertebrates, including other elasmobranch species. Globally, such poleward shifts have been attributed to warming waters caused by climate change. In general, future research is needed to support either of these hypotheses and improve our understanding of winghead movement behavior, habitat use, distribution, and population trends across the species range. So a brief study, but really, really cool commentary on this species biology. So, Roy, I love the way it looks, honestly. Same here. Yeah, just like, yeah, it's such a character. So, really good one. Really good. This is our last stream before, like, spooky season. So this is a really cool shark to kind of, like, sort of maybe kick off spooky season, because next week is going to be October 2nd, if I have that right. So, yeah, this is a really good one. This is a good one to lead into Halloween. I'm very, very excited about this. So, let's shift gears to... I saw a couple field guides, and I think it'll be good to kind of switch gears to that really quick. What the heck is this? No, I don't want anything. No. I thought I clicked on... Oh, I see. These field guides are not loading. Oh, here we go. This is one. There we go. So yeah, we'll step away from the science for a little bit, because I always think field guides are pretty fun. Okay, here we go. So, field identification guide to Western Australian sharks and shark-like rays. I really don't know a lot about Australia, so this might be kind of a lot of fun, actually. Fun fact, this is really random and very nerdy, but this area, Western Australia, is the polar opposite of where I live. This is the exact opposite side of the Earth. Really, like, the exact opposite. There's a website you can find this. I totally forget where it is, but it's like you could just Google, like, where's the opposite of where I live, and the funny thing is, like, most of the opposite of North America is actually just, like, the Southern Ocean, and there's nothing there. The exact opposite of where I live is the Southern Ocean, like, off of Western Australia. But it's kind of cool going into this little field guide with that in mind, where it's like, these are the sharks that are at the polar opposite of where I live. Sharks that I may never meet. And let's see what we got. Because this is technically the most exotic sharks. Deepwater sharks. This is kind of a funny guide. Okay, now this is really fun. Even though this is the exact opposite of where I live, it's actually really cool to see I have some of these species in my ecoregion. So I have one of these 6-gill sharks, and I do have the sharp-nosed 7-gill, so that's really cool. So we're on opposite ends of the globe, but we share these species. And it's actually a really cool testament of, like, how unusually large shark ranges are. And I would say, like, sharks, whales, birds, and maybe large fish have unusually large ranges. And I would say, like, as far as animals go, and I would say mammals, medium ranges, reptiles are pretty niche, small ranges, like amphibians, very small ranges. So it's actually really cool to see that, like, sharks, birds, and whales, and maybe the large fish, like, are truly cosmopolitan. So, like, some species can be literally everywhere. So, thresher sharks. Is this just a general guide? Are we gonna get into the actual species? Huh. Hammerhead sharks. Okay. That's odd. Yeah, this is kind of an odd guide, honestly, but okay. So we have thresher sharks, hammerhead sharks. This is so cool that we have every species here except for the winghead shark. So the winghead is unique to Australia. It's actually really cool to see that the winghead's range is this little green bar in the northern part of Western Australia. Smooth edge teeth. But that's actually really cool. I literally saw a scalped hammerhead last year. So my favorite shark encounter to date was the scalped hammerhead. But it's cool that we have all three species, and yet, you know, we're the opposite end of the globe. Mackerel sharks, great white. We have great whites. Makos, short fin makos. We have those. Man, it's kind of wild. Pencil shark. I've never heard of a pencil shark. So that's unique. Never heard of that. Interesting. Fossil shark. That's actually really cool. I forget. So Hemipristis is in Hemigelidae. This is a cousin of. We've definitely talked about the fossil shark before. It's an awesome name. We've definitely talked about this before, but that's something pretty unique. Grainer sharks, sand tiger sharks. This is a little odd. These are the same species. I don't know. That's odd that there's a distinction between these two. Carpet sharks. We have no carpet sharks here. And there's another field guide I pulled up, so we'll go into that because I thought this was going to be a little bit more detailed. This is kind of like a little bit of a confusing guide. So this is kind of fun. Port Jackson Shark. This is our boy. We talked about Port Jackson Shark earlier this year. And the zebra shark. This is a cousin of Port Jackson Shark. That sounds really cool. Zebra shark. Woebegone. This is famously Steve Irwin's favorite shark. Is one of Steve Irwin's favorite sharks is Woebegone. So we got a lot of Woebegones in Western Australia. That is a shark that I have nothing to do with. I've never like we don't have any whatsoever here. We're really lacking on Orlectoloba forms. We really don't have a lot. But it's actually really cool to see other parts of the world where this group is like really big. Banded, cobbler, spotted, tasseled, western woebegone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different woebegone species. So, saw sharks. That's really cool. Angel sharks, the Australian angel shark, the ornate angel shark, and the western angel shark. And that's it. So let's go to a guide that actually maybe has more color photos. I thought I had one somewhere. I thought that'd be more exciting, so sorry about that. Catching up on comments. Oh, hey Howard, what's up? Oh, wait, sorry, I'm just catching up on these comments. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's see. Oh, hey, no worries, Howard. So, yeah, let me, hold on. Let's see. If you send... Sorry, it's good to hear from you. Let's see. Because what we could do, like, we could totally showcase the. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Because I love to see your art. Because I know my email changed recently. It's good to hear from you. My email changed recently. If you go to drjaws.net and just send me a quick message through this portal, I can connect with you. And then I may not be able to show the Winghead Shark art on this stream, but next week's stream, I could definitely bring it up. So if you can reach me just through the Dr. Jaws website, drjaws.net, and just send me a quick message in this portal, we'll connect, and we can stream that art. So, yeah, it's good to hear from you. So I'm sorry that the internet is down. Let's see. Latin name is Eusphyra blochii. First time you use your phone to access YouTube. No worries, man. It's great to hear from you too. No worries. So yeah, just send a quick message through the portal here on drjaws.net. Since we're almost at 11, probably won't be able to clean the photo or like the drawing and have it ready for the stream tonight. But we could definitely have it ready next week. Because I love to see it, especially since this is such a charismatic species. And this is, I'll type it in the chat as well. Awesome, thank you. I just saw your comment. Send it by next week. Eusphyra blochii. But it's good to hear from you. It's been really, really busy week last week on my end, so I'm glad. I appreciate you guys just coming back after a week long hiatus. I did a lot of traveling last week, and I'm exhausted. So I'm very excited to be settling into the fall and just kind of like just doing these streams for the rest of the year. So. Oh, I need a Latin name for a species of herring from Manila. Gotcha. So, interesting thing about that, I don't know if you caught this earlier in the stream, but Roy and I were just researching just the Winghead Shark's head shape, and it's really extreme. There we go. So it's a very extreme head shape, and there was a study that was talking about how this is really terrible as far as lift and drag are concerned. So it's actually the worst head shape for sharks as far as that's concerned. But it's actually the best head shape for maneuverability. So, and the theory is that this actually fits with the shark's preferred prey item of herring. And it sounds like you know that the shark prefers herring as a prey item, because since you mentioned that, and I know like your drawings usually have prey items in them, but what's really cool is that the theory is that this shark is uniquely maneuverable. Like that head shape is uniquely, that the extremity of that head shape helps it in a unique way to catch that highly maneuverable herring prey item. And it's actually super, super cool that this is a unique adaptation that might help exploit that prey resource in a way that the other hammerheads and other sharks really can't. So it's super, super cool, and it sounds like awesome. So it sounds like you might have caught that. But it's so cool, and I love like learning like distinct features of shark species, and it's really cool that this one has a unique advantage in maneuverability, and that it might be helping it exploit a niche that its cousins can't, because the other hammerheads like bottom dwelling prey items. So super cool. I was not expecting that for tonight. So yeah. I was trying to look for another field guide, but I think the other ones didn't load. So we'll kind of bounce around some. I had a couple different websites that had just snapshots of the species. This is Atlas of Living Australia. Looks like a juvenile individual here. We'll close this out. Fishes of Australia. This is a really, really tiny individual. That's actually adorable. It's a really, really small pup. Wow. It's kind of, the coloration is so interesting too. This is a pup, but it is actually really interesting to see like a portion of the bar is dark and has pigmentation, but the very front of the head, very front and the trailing edge of the cephalofoil is actually pale for this pup. That's actually pretty interesting. Okay, close that out. This is I don't forget where this came from, but this looks like a quick little species profile. So let's check out if there's any new information on this. Okay. Report card remarks: globally in decline, but in Australia only a minor commercial catch of managed fisheries. I kind of hope we get, this is really random, but someday I really hope we get Australian viewers, just because it's like, Australia does a lot of cool shark research, and this is a very interesting species that, it's not unique to Australia, but it's kind of cool that, like, it's doing well in Australia, and it's definitely an animal that fits with Australia's general uniqueness, as far as morphology, so, I don't know. I just think it would be really, really cool. Just like I hope we get some Australian viewers someday. Kind of to add to our, like our stream. But kicking up. Oh, here we go. Sorry. There is an ongoing study of these sharks in New Guinea. Interesting. Or New Guinea. Sorry, New Guinea. Very cool. Howard, what's the study about for these species, or for this species? Let's see. Winghead shark is highly distinctive, wide distributed. This is an interesting kind of add-on. The species is long-lived and has a segregated distribution that makes it vulnerable to heavy localized fishing effort. Interesting. In southern Asia and Indonesia, where fishing effort is concentrated in coastal regions, the species is referred to be heavily exploited. The winghead shark is now rarely encountered in India and Indonesia, where it was previously reported. Okay. There is no specific data available on winghead shark population size or trends. Declines in winghead shark in Southeast Asia and elsewhere in Indo-West Pacific are inferred given the widespread historical and continuing declines of demersal fisheries in this region. In Australia, the population is not believed to have declined substantially, as it is rarely taken in fisheries. Oh, here we go. Very low numbers. Sometimes caught in the East Coast finfish fishery, inshore finfish fishery, the prawn fishery, trawl fishery. Maximum size is 186 centimeters total length. Small shark, so that's going to be... Hold on. Centimeters, 2 feet. I'm very tired, so I gotta figure this out with the help of 6 feet. So it's 6 feet at maximum. So. Which is actually a pretty good size. That's a pretty good size shark. Maximum age 21 years. Very cool. Okay, so I think this almost was like a IUCN snapshot. I was just kind of curious reading through that. So, all right. Check out a couple more photos, and then I did want to, we did check out the cephalofoil hydrodynamics. I think that's the same study we looked at earlier. I did want to check out this phylogenomic position study before we wrap it up tonight, but I think before we dive into that, let's check out a couple more photos of this species, and then since we're getting close to 11, I think we should probably pick out a shark for next week. And again, next week is beginning of October, so just as a general theme, maybe like a spooky shark of some sort, like a creepy deep water shark, just as a suggestion, but anything goes. I'm cool with whatever for next week, so I'm excited to get into the Halloween season. But yeah, let's go ahead. I'll check for some more photos, any images we didn't see. This is kind of an older plate drawing. It's not really kind of showcasing this species' unique head shape. This might be the same study that we're looking at, the phylogenomic position. I'll get to that a little bit. Oh, cool. Mitofish, mitochondrial genome database of fish. So that's actually probably going to relate to the genomic study. I think everything is pointing to read the genomic study, but damn. Wild looking shark. I'm really, really glad we read that study about maneuverability and just how the head shape helps it catch fast-moving prey items. So, wow. Okay. Yeah, let's go check out this phylogenomic position of the winghead shark. Oh, sorry. Of the winghead shark, Eusphyra blochii, inferred from the mitochondrial genome. So, we won't get too deep into the genetics, but the complete mitogenome of the winghead shark, Eusphyra blochii, is determined in the study, which is nearly 17,000 base pairs, with a nucleotide base composition nearly 32% A. Oh my gosh, this is taking me back to like undergrad, man. 26% C, 30% G, and 30% T. So this is like literally the building blocks of DNA. This is crazy. Containing 37 genes with the typical gene arrangement pattern and translate orientation in vertebrates. 2 start codons, ATG and GTG, and 2 stop codons, TAG and TAA/T, are found in the protein coding genes. The 22 tRNA genes range from 67 base pairs to 75 base pairs. The phylogenetic position showed that winghead sharks clustered with the Sphaerinoclad with a strong posterior probability of 100%. So I'm going to be honest, I totally forget exactly specifically how that works as far as genetics goes, but we can still get the gist of how does species relate to the other species, like to the other hammerheads. So this is by Pierre Fuerti, Peter Kine, and Xiao Chen, or Xiao Chen. So this is the stuff that I kind of wanted to see, and the phylogenetic position of Eusphyra blochii, which is right here. And, well, this might not be as exciting as I thought it was going to be, because like clearly the winghead shark is an outlier to the hammerheads, right? And clearly it's not closely related to anything else, so maybe this isn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be. The outlier is Lamnoditropus, which is the salmon shark. Yep. And that's it. I thought this was going to be a more intense study, but I guess it's not. So, yeah. Here is... yeah. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I thought this was going to be more intense, but it isn't. So, but it's kind of cool to see just the relation of the hammerheads to the other Carcharodontiforms. It is interesting seeing this in relation to Loxodon and Scoliodon, which I forget specifically what those are. The slit-eye shark. I don't think I've heard of that, actually. But it is a requiem shark. Okay. That's the thing I wanted to know. I've never heard of this. Loxodon macrorhinus. Wow. Oh, wow. That's a really cool... wow, that's a really wild-looking shark. Cool. Okay. So, yeah. Sorry, yeah, apologies. This was not as exciting as I thought it was going to be, but yeah, I mean, it kind of states the obvious that winghead sharks are very different from the other hammerheads, which we know. the hammerheads are nested within Carcharodontidae, where Hemigalius and Hemipristis are actually more distantly related. So the hammerheads are more closely related to things like bull sharks than they are to Hemigalius and Hemipristis or tiger sharks. And that's actually really cool because we recently determined that tiger sharks are their own unique thing. They're their own family, so they're no longer part of Carcharodontidae. So it's actually really cool seeing that this genetic study supports that. It's pretty amazing seeing that hammerheads are nested within the Carcharodontidae or the Requiem shark family, and that they evolved or possibly evolved kind of from that, like a genetic mutation causing a Carcharodonid having the weird head shape, and that genetic mutation eventually kind of proving to be a good adaptation, and we have the hammerhead diversity that we have today. But anyway, catching up on comments. Cookie cutter. I'm seeing cookie cutter. I find the cookie cutter shark to be kind of spooky if you're in a pontoon boat. Yeah, let's do cookie cutter shark, because we've talked about, I think the past couple streams we've mentioned the cookie cutter a couple times. We were talking about underwater cables, and cookie cutters famously cut through those. So yeah. Oh, and the pontoon boat. Yeah, right. Like the pontoon boat news story where like Howard, I think he went further into that than I did, because I saw the headline that shark attacks pontoon boat, and I kind of dismissed it. I was like, oh, it's probably just a requiem shark being curious. And then we went into it, and it's like, oh, it's a cookie cutter shark that did that. So yes, we're gonna definitely do the cookie cutter shark next week. That sounds absolutely perfect. So, oh hey Howard, the winghead is around 20 million years old and is the earliest ancestor about 43 million years old based on genetic studies. Awesome. So 20 million years old is Oligocene, 43 million years old is Eocene. So that's actually pretty ancient. Because I'm used to when you look at fossils, like the Miocene, I always think is like the big shark biodiversity explosion. So it's actually really cool to see that the winghead shape is even older than that. So that's actually really awesome. So yeah, let's close out of this study, because I didn't think, I thought it was going to kind of give more information than it really did. So this is the same study as far as phylogenetic positioning. Digimorph. What is this? Oh, wait a minute. Rora and I were talking about CT scans. I know there's a website where you can find 3D chondrocranium, like jaw models of sharks, and I can't remember what it is. Wait, is this it? Oh, is this it? Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh! Okay, this might be it. Wait, hold on. Oh, this is it. Okay, this is it. Okay, there we go. Sorry. That's so cool. Okay, here we go. What is this called again? Digimorph. Okay, gotcha. So, let's look at a different view on this. But, okay, so here is a winghead shark head. I want to look at pitch. I think that's the one that I want to look... No? I want to look at this differently. Roll? Maybe I do want to look at pitch. Y'all? Okay, I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so that is really cool. So this was the thing that we were trying to find, which was just the 3D scan of the study. The 3D scan of the winghead shark's head. So I'm gonna kind of keep playing this a little bit. One interesting thing from the physics, the hydrodynamic study that we were reading earlier, is that the most amount of pressure is actually, as far as when the shark is moving through the water column, the most amount of pressure is actually at the center of the snout. and the rest of the cephalofoil is relatively alleviated from pressure. And that's actually true for all hammerheads, apparently, is that as they're moving through the water column, they're absorbing the most amount of pressure at the very center of the snout, and that the rest of the cephalofoil is actually maybe kind of alleviated from pressure, which is really cool. So, oh man, this is so cool. This sounds kind of dumb, but like the chondrocranium here, looking at it in 3D, it kind of shows you like how flat it really is, and like how neatly folded like the jaws are. You know, I kind of feel like it looks more compressed than other shark species. And then when you kind of keep spinning this around, you can just see how extreme like the, you know, that cephalofoil is, and like how far the eyes are away from the brain. It's so crazy when you think about it. Such a wild shark. Man, I was not expecting to find this, but I'm really glad we found this. Let's look at the other views. Okay, so this one I can kind of like click and pause. Man. I mean, think about like just that connection between like in most sharks, here's your mouth, your brain is up here, and the eyes are, you know, located here, right? Just think about like, you know, the whole system of like neurons and connectors between the eyes and the brain in terms of relaying information across that proportionally enormous distance. It's such a mind-boggling thing. Like hammerheads are so wild, and this one being the most extreme of the hammerheads is just kind of unbelievable to imagine this. It's so cool. Man, I'm really glad we found this. Roy, I just saw your comment. I think a cookie cutter took a nibble at your internet cable. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Is that the one that that's the one I clicked on. Sorry, pitch. I think that's the last one. There we go. Okay. So cool. So in the physics study, again, this head shape creates the most amount of drag and has the least amount of lift. So as far as like moving in the water column, with those intentions, it's the worst head shape ever, but it has the highest amount of maneuverability. And I hate to say it, but I was playing Mario Kart with my brother last weekend, and it reminds me of Mario Kart specs, where you have trade-offs, where you can have the fastest Mario Kart, or like the Mario Kart with the most traction. I don't know if you guys play Mario Kart, but it just reminds me of that. But like, more importantly, again, evolution is all about trade-offs and all about like survival of the fittest. The fittest is not necessarily being the best at everything. It is excelling in one dimension, where this shark excels at maneuverability. And you know, other species may have better lift and may have super reduced drag, but this species like beats them all as far as like being maneuverable to capture herring. So super cool. Also, a fun fact: my favorite Mario Kart character is King Boo. If anyone was curious, I am ride or die King Boo. So King Boo is the best. He will win someday. My brother is a pro at Mario Kart, and I've yet to seize victory, but King Boo will rise someday. So let's check out if there's any comments on this. Let's see. Oh, this is a cool comment. Roy, the cephalofoil is probably super sensitive. Like, imagine the amount of ampullae sensors that has been dispersed throughout the head. That's a really good point. That is a real... Oh, Waluigi. I'm a Waluigi guy. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Like, solid character. Waluigi does not play, so... But yeah, that's a really good point about the ampullae Lorenzini, and just like, you know, proportionally, there must be so many, and like their distribution on the cephalofoil, it's pretty wild. So, let's see. Hammerhead sharks, a new group of carlisle fishes that possess the cephalofoil. Here we go. Oh, this is interesting. So, the degree of lateral expansion is variable, generally ranging from 18% of the shark total length in the bonnethead shark to 50% total length in the winghead shark. The reason this is interesting is that the physics study did the same thing in terms of, like, they had bonnethead sharks at one end of the spectrum and winghead sharks on the other end of the spectrum. So bonnethead sharks had kind of like the best lift and like the lowest drag coefficient, and winghead sharks had the worst lift and the highest drag coefficient. Bonnethead sharks have the smallest head, or the smallest hammer head, and then the winghead sharks have the biggest hammer head. So it's actually really interesting that we're seeing that pattern again, where it makes sense. Like, bonnethead sharks have like the most quote-unquote normal head, and then the winghead sharks have the most extreme as far as the hammerheads go. So, oh, cool. The phylogenetic relationship of hammerhead sharks indicates that the species with the most extreme lateral expansion of the cephalofoil is the most basal, while the least laterally expanded species is the most derived. So winghead sharks, and I think, Howard, you might have mentioned this on an earlier stream, so winghead sharks are the most ancient, and bonnethead sharks are the most modern, which kind of blows my mind, because it's like I think instinctively you would think the opposite would be true, that, you know, like, the most extreme features should have come later in time, you know, but that's not always the case. So it's actually really cool that the winghead shark might be the most quote-unquote ancient of the hammerheads, and that the bonnethead is like the most modern. That's really, really cool. We won't go through this because we did talk about how the cephalofoil doesn't really help with lift. It does help with prey manipulation. So, as far as a hypothesis for evolution of the cephalofoil may also function in prey manipulation. So it is something that, in that physics study, is supported. Is that, yes, the winghead shark's extreme head shape really helps with maneuverability and prey manipulation. This is kind of cool. The greater olfactory gradient resolution hypothesis is based on the greater separation distance of the nares and spearhead sharks, providing an enhanced ability to spatially resolved odors of different sides of the head, increased olfactory acuity, and increased sampling area. Very cool. This is something I mentioned earlier, and I guess I did use the right term. A second hypothesis based on sensory biology is the enhanced binocular vision hypothesis. This hypothesis states that the placement of the eyes on the laterally expanded cephalofoil enhances binocular vision anteriorly and increases the visual field of spearheads. So that whole thing of the hammerheads famously moving side to side, I guess I was right, that was like binocular vision, where they do that unique movement so they can get a better feel, like, read on the environment, literally, like, as far as like seeing the environment. But I didn't know that was using the right term. I thought I was kind of like, I thought I was wrong by saying it was binocular vision, but it's actually correct. So cool. Recent work has shown support for enhanced binocular overlap and a decreased blind area in the most laterally expanded species. Very cool. This hypothesis, the hypothesis that is most commonly proposed concerning the evolution of the spearhead cephalofoil is the enhanced electrosensory hypothesis, which Roy just alluded to. The basis for this hypothesis is the idea that the larger surface area of the cephalofoil is the larger the surface area is, the greater the surface area that is devoted to electroreception, providing the shark with increased ability to detect and spatially resolve the bioelectric fields of prey. That's super cool because, again, like, electroreception is like one of the coolest things that sharks do in general, where it's like they can see things that are not physically, or like they can detect the energy of things that they can't see or smell. Like, you can still feel the electrical pulse, and it's such a cool thing. The laterally expanded head also enables spearhead sharks to possess ambulatory tubules that are longer than those found in carcharodonid sharks, which may confer greater sensitivity to uniform electric fields than their sister taxa. Super, super, super cool that it's basically an amplified, like, I don't want to say like a metal detector, but it's just like, it's cool knowing that hammerhead sharks may actually be a lot better at electroreception than other shark species. It's just, I always think that's really cool. The most basal hammerhead is the winghead shark, Eusphyra blochii. It's a small, shallow water, viviparous tropical shark found along the continental shelf from Pakistan to the Philippines and south to Australia. Yep, winghead sharks feed primarily on herrings and pinned shrimp. Very cool. So clip-headed fish are herrings. That's so cool. So yeah, I love that idea that just this extreme head shape helps with electroreception, and I love that study that we did tonight where it definitely helps with maneuverability. So super, super cool. But with that, it is 11 o'clock, so we're probably going to wrap it up here in a little bit. Let me just catch up on the comments really quick. If wingheads are Howard, if wingheads are a specialized herring predator, it makes sense that the latter species are more diverse predators. Very cool. And supporting Roy, do you think winghead smell is better because of how wide their nostrils are? Absolutely. Super, super cool. Interesting that bonheads are omnivores, tending strongly towards vegetarian. Yeah, it is interesting that bonheads being like the most derived of the hammerheads and like the most modernly evolved. I don't know like if there was a correlation with that, but it is pretty cool that like, you know, this like the most extreme looking species is the most adapted to catching maneuverable prey, and that the most conserved looking species as far as the hammerheads go, it kind of helps them. I mean, you know, they're more devoted to like bottom dwelling prey. Bonnetheads, of course, you know, like live, you know, near seagrass beds and like, you know, prey on crabs, and I don't know, it is pretty cool. Just like there might be a correlation there. So, but yeah, honestly, this I came into this stream pretty tired, and I didn't know what to expect since we don't have video of the species. You might have been here for this, Howard, but this species loves estuarine environments, like murky water environments where, you know, herring like to swim. So that probably is part of why it's not on video. Really, we don't have any footage of the species. But I didn't know what to expect coming into the Winghead Shark, and we came out of this with a lot of cool information and really cool 3D CT scans. So honestly, this was an awesome night and an awesome stream to kind of come back to after that little hiatus from last week. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here and sharing in this interesting shark science with me as far as the Winghead Shark goes. We learned a lot of cool stuff. And next week, we're going to start Halloween, or the Halloween season right, with the cookie cutter shark. I'm really excited. It's been a long time. Little tuna roll. Night night, Zachy. Kiss your brother. Good night. Little tuna roll may or may not be someone I played Mario Kart with. So, and she may or may not be someone who, like, knows my brother very, very well. And, yeah, so... He's the best Mario Kart player, I admit. He's the best one, for now. So, but... Aw, man. Oh, Roy, Zach, your streams make me feel so much better, even after the experience I had Sunday. Oh, man, no worries. That means a lot to me. This sincerely means a lot to me, Roy. So I'm glad I could be here. I'm glad I'm back, and, like, I'm glad you guys could be back, too. You know, because I hate, like... As much as I need to, like, do vacations and stuff, or, like, need to do, like, trips and things for certain things, because, like, last week was really more of, like, a business trip, you know, I hate missing the stream, so, and it means a lot to me, so thank you so much, you know, like same thing, like, you guys support me as well, so I really appreciate you being here. Howard, can't wait to show you my drawing. Yes, like, I cannot wait to see the Winghead Shark drawing for next week. And the cookie cutter shark, if you're preparing art for the cookie cutter shark, that's probably going to be a masterpiece as well. So I'm so excited for that. So we're going to start fall off right, and we're going to get into some just pure shark streams. There's no trips, no out of town. Here every Monday nights at 9, we're going to do sharks all through the fall. So, but hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. Cheers.